Allah the Almighty calls humans to himself in 4 ways, and among these 4 ways, the first method is the easiest and most understandable to humans. Now, what is this first method? What is the first sign? Let me explain it to you in simple, easy terms. The first way through which Allah gives a signal to humans to turn toward Allah, to return to Allah, is this. That guidance reaches a person from somewhere. For example, you pick up your mobile phone and start scrolling, and suddenly some words of guidance appear before you, some video appears in which you are being told about Allah's love. You are being asked to return to Allah or any video related to Islam. Now, that video doesn't appear before you without reason. Rather, Allah wishes that video appears before you and you watch it. That video is a sign from Allah that Allah wants to guide you. Allah wants to call you toward Himself. Allah wants you to leave the paths of sins and misguidance and return to Him. Now, I receive many messages and comments saying, "Brother, we used to sin, and then we watched your video. Fear of Allah was created in our hearts, and we repented." So if an Islamic video is appearing before a person, it's not happening without reason, but it's a sign from Allah for that person. Now, if a person ignores this first sign, doesn't pay much attention to it, then Allah shows that person a second sign. The second sign is that Allah sends people around him to guide him. They tell him something about guidance, talk about religion. Let me explain this point well in simple terms too. Now, if someone among those who live with you stops you from sinning, that person could be your parents, your siblings, relatives, or friends, etc., then that too is a sign from Allah that Allah wants to call you toward Himself, wants to guide you. So if someone is stopping you from sins, repeatedly telling you to do good, that person is not doing all this by themselves, but Allah is making that person do all this. So if any friend of yours or any person whom you know or don't know brings religious matters to you, explains to you, listen to and understand them, because that person hasn't come to you by themselves, but Allah has sent that person to you. Now, in this second sign, there is another thing, and that is that your relatives, friends, or family members who live with you and are committing the same sins that you are committing, and some calamity, trouble, or illness befalls them because of that sin, but not you. Then this is also a sign that Allah is giving you an opportunity to repent, to leave your sinful life. Now, if a person doesn't understand this second sign either and still remains engaged in sins, then Allah gives that person a third sign. And this third sign is more painful than the first 2 signs. What is this third sign? Let's understand in detail that some trial forcibly enters your life even against your wishes, and that trial could be anything: a bad person, illness, hard labor, bad times, or anything that a person dislikes, that is against a person's liking. And that trial makes the person realize that he can do nothing, that he is helpless. In the Holy Quran, in Surah Sajdah, verse 21, the meaning of which is somewhat like this: "And we will surely let them taste the lesser punishment before the greater punishment. Perhaps they will return to righteousness." Allah has said in these verses that He will give them the lesser punishment in this world, meaning a small punishment. Why will He give it? He has also given the answer to this, so that those sinful people repent and return to Him. So the small punishments you receive from Allah in this world are a sign from Allah that Allah wants to guide you. Allah wants you to repent and turn toward Him. Now, there are many people who, when a trial from Allah comes upon them, turn toward Allah and repent. But there are also many people who, if a trial comes upon them, instead of repenting, become even more disobedient. And then for such people, there is a fourth sign, and if a disobedient person doesn't understand this fourth sign either, then for that person, in the hereafter, there is nothing but regret. What is the fourth sign? Let's understand in detail. Now, if a person receives signs from Allah in every way, but still that person doesn't turn toward Allah, then Allah ruins his life, makes his life purposeless. Allah leaves that person to his own state. Now, if you're thinking that ruin means that a person dies or some illness befalls a person that confines him to bed or something happens that takes away all his blessings, then you are wrong. Rather, Allah will give this person health, wealth, and his desires will also be fulfilled, but only and only as long as he is alive in this world. So now the question arises, what then is the ruin? The real ruin is that Allah leaves a person's life and his heart becomes filled with love for the things of this world instead of Allah. And the person whose life's purpose becomes this world and whose heart becomes filled with love for this world, that person is ruined both in this world and in the hereafter. So if a person who commits sins, disobeys Allah, runs after his carnal desires and fulfills them, and no trial or punishment is coming upon him, then that person should understand that Allah has left him to his own state. Allah has given him this world and has taken away his hereafter from him. Taking away the hereafter means he has no share in the hereafter except for the fire of hell, except for punishment. In the Quran, in Surah Hashr, verse 19, the meaning of which is somewhat like this, and be not like those who forgot Allah, so he made them forget themselves. Those are the defiantly disobedient. So these were the 4 signs through which Allah guides humans, calls them toward himself. Now my question to you is, which of these 4 signs have you seen? Do let me know in the comment section and make this video a continuous charity.